Hey all, Board Game Rancher, we'll find everything solo tabletop gaming and more, and today I'm going to go over Agropolis, which is the standalone expansion for the smash hit Sprawlopolis. I'll show you a little bit what this one's about, Agropolis, and what I'm thinking about on the other side. Welcome to Agropolis, a standalone Sprawlopolis game. What does that mean? Well, if you've ever played Sprawlopolis, this one is based off of that. Sprawlopolis is kind of the urban version. This would be more of the rural version. I did a video on this, I don't know, a couple years ago back, so I'll link that so if you want to see it kind of played or whatnot. But it's a very straightforward game. In the base game, you're going to have 18 cards here. Just 18 cards. That makes up the game. But you're going to shuffle those cards up, and on the one side of all the cards is these goals and a scoring goal. So it gives you a way to build up your Agropolis according to a certain theme and a point scoring goal. And then on the other side are all this is what's going to make up. There's 4 different colors here, and then there's roads. And depending on how you place these out on your game area, that's what's going to score you points or lose you points. So after you've shuffled, each game you're going to shuffle. I mean, it sets up in seconds. And then boom, 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 you take a random 3 goals. And again, these are going to have you build your Agropolis in a certain way to score the most points based on kind of a theme. And then you need to score, in this case, I'd have to score 14 plus 10 is 24 plus 7 is 31 points to win the game. And also, too, a little different than Sprawlopolis, you can increase the difficulty. There's a little way to do that by adding up all the cows below or all the pigs below each card and adding that to your scoring goal. So that's kind of cool. Little bonus difference there. And also too, just there's some subtle differences, but for the most part, it plays the same. So you've done that. You've randomly gotten your 3 goals. You're gonna have a starting card out here to work with, and then you're gonna, from the rest of them, you're gonna draw 3 cards. And when you play the game, you're basically going to play one of your 3 cards out here in whatever way you'd like. You can overlap. You can't just connect corner to corner, but you can pretty much do everything else. You can't be tucking cards either, but you can overlap in any which way and just grow your Agropolis however you like. So you play a card, and you draw another one. So you can always see what card's in queue, and you have 3 cards here, and you're going to play these cards and cards and cards, and eventually you're just going to end up with, something out here all built up. And depending on how you do, there's a couple different ways that you're gonna score. I'm just messing around here. I don't even, there we go. I'm just gonna, so let's say that I'm done, the end of the game, and I've played all these cards out here. Then there's a base scoring to each game, always the same. And so you look at the 4 different colors of blocks that you've got, and you score your highest number that are all adjacent and orthogonally. And so I would score 3 points for these 3 red ones that are together. I would score 2 points for these 2 of the brown color that's together. Yeah, and you'll score it once. And then I'd only score 1 point because I only have the biggest purple area is 1, and I would only score, this doesn't count as 2 because it's diagonally, so I'd only score 1 point for yellow. So I'd basically start off with a base score of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 points for my blocks and how well I've put them together. Then you're going to subtract points for each separate road. So how many? So this makes up 1 road when they're connected. So -1, -2, -3, -4 points. So I have a whole base score of 3 points. Then I'd look over here and I'd read each description. And of course, part of while you're playing the game, you're trying to build these, a certain way. A corn-fed swine country, bacon and eggs, Agropolis. And so you're going to score points and or possibly lose points depending on how you've built this out according to that theme. And then you'll see if you won or not. That's the gist of the game. I mean, that's it, and then when you want to play again, you grab it all together, you throw out another random 3, and you do it again. Now, if you're lucky enough to have the Sprawlopolis with this, you can play a variant that comes with or at least it came with my Agropolis. I got it through Kickstarter, but you can play Combopolis. which basically combines all of the original game of Sprawlopolis with its newest sidekick now, Agropolis, and then the Combopolis comes with its own little set of 6 cards here that sort of combines the two. And then instead, each game, what you do is shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. You draw 1 goal from your Sprawlopolis game, 1 goal from your Agropolis game, 1 goal from your Combopolis cards here. Bam! So now you're going to have a tremendous variety of goals to change up each game. These are going to go off to the side. That was my Combopolis little card there, so those go over there. But now when you play, you are going to have your stack of Agropolis cards. You're going to have your stack of Sprawlopolis cards here. Oh, you do actually take a random one of these Combopolis cards to start your game. As you can see, it's a mix of the two. You've got some Agropolis colors here, and you've got Sprawlopolis colors here. And now, when you play, you get to draw 2 cards, 1 from the top of each of the deck, and then play 1. And you can mix them and match them in any which way that you're trying to score your goals there. And then you got to discard the other one, and then you draw 2 more cards. So it plays basically the same, but you got twice the stuff to work with, twice the goodness of the Lopolis games, or Opolis games, I should say. Anywho, Agropolis, let's talk about it. The best tiny little card game ever. I can't think of, with 18 cards, I can't imagine another game doing more that's so engaging in so little material. Just magnificent design through and through. And Agropolis, did it take Sprawlopolis and make it that much better? Not really. It's the same thing. It's just got a rural theme. It does have a little bit. There's pens. Now the one color, the brown color. There's pens. There's 1 or 2 of them, and so that mixes things up a little bit. And the fact that there's so it's a little improvement, I would say. Basically, but it's the same game. And the where it really shines, though, for me, is when you combine the two that I was showing you there at the end. But so set up and tear around with this game. Forget about it. It takes seconds, literally. And it takes up a very small, well, I don't know. It depends on how you build out your Agropolis. It could be pretty expansive and take up you might have to move some things around depending on the table space you're starting on. And you're like, oh, I'm going to have a drink here and food here and there. And then as you build out a certain way, you might have to move some stuff. But you also might just do a lot of overlapping, which sometimes the game, depending on your goals, rewards. This game, I love this game. I'm just start with that. I love this game. And the length of play is blisteringly quick. You can put some thought into this, really, if you want, or you can just kind of hack it out and throw cards out there. That's the way I tend to play. I lose a lot, and I'm fine with that because it's just like, I want to try it again. And it takes a few seconds to just start again. So why not? Why put all this thought into it just so I lose by 1 and I'm disappointed? I'd rather lose by a few and then try again. So I play this, within 15 minutes, usually 10 to 15 minutes each game, just because I'm just blowing through it, having a good time. And it looks cool too at the end. It just you have this sense of it just looks, has a pleasant look to it. And with the roads all connected and stuff, and you feel like you kind of accomplished something at the end of the game. So the components, the value is it's just fine. Yeah, I mean, this is one of the only games that I kickstarted a couple times now, and for Sprawlopolis and for, no one knew what to expect with Sprawlopolis, but once you have Sprawlopolis, and if you like Sprawlopolis, there ain't no way you are not getting Agropolis. So kickstarted that, got that. It was like $12. I don't know, and it came with some little expansion goodies too with the base game. I'm not, but entirely worth it, entirely fair, for the game. It's just, I mean, maybe it's a bit much for a few cards or whatever, but it comes with a cool little wallet thing and it's compact. I don't know. It's all cool. The value's there. The theme, yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's a very simple theme of just building up a polis, be it Sprawlopolis, Agropolis in this, and it's awesome. So, and you do feel like you're building out your city. So the theme is just sits in there just right. It's not real heavy or anything, but sits in there just right. The rule book is like a couple little tiny little pages. It's so, I mean, I explained the rules there, you know, or you just shuffle them up. You draw 3 cards to be your goals, and you flip over a starting card. You draw a hand of 3, and then you just go, and you just play, and you play, and you play, and you gotta, you know, you can't underlap. There's just a couple little basic rules. The rules are so easy, which make this game a little counter to what I usually like. I usually like heavy games, but because there's just so much game in this little game, yeah, there's just nothing like it out there for me. And the pace in which you play it, and that you can reset, and all the thought that you can put into it if you want, makes it just very intriguing. And this game will always have a place on my shelf. And because it takes no shelf space, it just takes up no room. So the mechanics are clean. The strategy is definitely, you can really put a lot of thought into it, or you don't have to. You can just kind of, you know, see what you dealt and just throw it out there, and that's fun too. So you can take your time for that kind of player, and you can just play quickly for me kind of player, or somewhere in between. So you can really enjoy this game on a lot of different levels, depending on just how you like to play games. It just allows for that, which is not something that a lot of games do. So you've got that cool little thing that you can do where you can ramp up the level with the Agropolis cards there. That's pretty nifty. I don't need to do that because I don't even win on normal level a couple times. But anyway, so replayable is all, you know, especially when you combine, I guess I should say it, especially when you combine Agropolis with Sprawlopolis and you're playing Combopolis. Oh my gosh, the combination of different goals to achieve there, that's the sweet spot for me. I will never play it really any other way besides Combopolis. And that's it. You've just got, that's where Agropolis really took Sprawlopolis to the next level for me, is just combining the two. So I love it. I love this game. Agropolis is just completed Sprawlopolis into that Combopolis. And there's other variants too you can play, but that's just the one for me because you get to use everything. And highly enjoyable, highly recommended. Even for the serious heavy solo gamer, I think you're gonna like this game. And then I think people who would prefer, I just like a lighter game, you're gonna like this game. Everyone's gonna like this game. I don't know about everyone. Anyway, those are my thoughts on Agropolis. Please let me know if you have any questions, comments down below. Until next time, thank you so much for watching. I'm Board Your Ants, and I'm out.